All right, let's be honest with each other for a minute. We're going to talk about a feeling that pretty much all of us have, but almost none of us ever want to admit to. You know the one. That little spark of satisfaction when things go just a little bit wrong for someone else. So, welcome. Let's get into the joy of misfortune.
And yeah, let's just put it right out there on the table. This is a confession. Sometimes I feel good when others feel bad. It's this kind of secret, grubby little delight, right? And today, we're dragging it out into the light. Because, and this is the important part, you are not alone. We all feel it. The real question is, why?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that tiny smirk you just can't fight back when your super serious boss sends out a company-wide email announcing their new title is Head of Pubic Services. You know you shouldn't laugh, but you do. You absolutely do.
Or what about this one? That celebrity who's built their entire brand on being a strict vegan, and then they get snapped by a photographer in the dairy aisle clutching a block of extra sharp cheddar like it's a winning lottery ticket. Oh, that delicious, delicious hypocrisy. We just can't resist it.
And it's not just small stuff. We feel this on a massive, almost cosmic scale. Like when NASA, the smartest people in the room, loses a $125 million Mars orbiter because one team was using the metric system and the other was using imperial units. It's such an epic fail that you can't help but just kind of marvel at it.
So, this secret little thrill we get from somebody else's mistake or downfall, it isn't just you being a terrible person. Nope, this feeling is so basic, so fundamental to being human, that it actually has a name. In fact, it has quite a few of them.
The word that we've all come to know and love, of course, is Schadenfreude. It's German, and it is brutally, beautifully honest. You've got Schaden, which means harm or damage, and you've got Freude, which means joy. Put them together, damage joy. It doesn't mess around.
And here's the thing. While we borrowed the word from German, the feeling itself is everywhere. In Japan, there's a saying, the misfortunes of others taste like honey. The French call it joie maline, which translates to diabolical delight. The ancient Greeks, the Dutch, the Russians, everybody had a word for this. This is not some cultural quirk. This is a human universal.
And get this, for a little historical fun fact, English actually tried to come up with its own word for it way back in the 1500s. It was Epichairekakia. Yeah, just rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Well, not really. It was a total flop, and it never caught on. So we were left with this kind of awkward silence around the topic until we all just gave up and adopted Schadenfreude.
Okay, so we've got a name for it. Plenty of names, actually. But that just brings us to the much bigger, much juicier question. Why? Why do we feel this? So let's dig into the science of it all. Why do we get a little kick out of someone else's pain?
I mean, it feels a little wrong, doesn't it? A little bit malicious. So what is going on inside our brains, inside our evolutionary past, that makes someone else's slip-up feel so, well, good?
Well, psychologists say that Schadenfreude isn't just one thing. It comes in a few different flavors. First, there's the justice-based kind. That's when a bully finally gets what's coming to them. Then you've got rivalry. That's the thrill we get when a competitor stumbles. And finally, there's respite. That's the feeling of relief when someone we envy has a bit of bad luck because it makes us feel a little better about ourselves.
Now that rivalry part, it has some really deep evolutionary roots. Think about it like a seesaw. In the big game of life, your success isn't just about how you're doing in a vacuum. It's about how you're doing compared to everyone else. So when your rival messes up, your end of the seesaw goes up, even if you haven't actually done anything at all.
And there's some wild data on this. There was a study in Germany where they hooked up sensors to the faces of football fans, and they found that the German fans showed bigger, faster smiles when their arch rivals from the Netherlands missed a goal than when their own team actually scored one. Just think about that. We sometimes get more pure joy from our enemy's failure than we do from our own victory. That's wild.
So this feeling has been with us forever, but has something changed recently? Has our modern world, with its endless scroll and constant outrage, basically put this ancient emotion on steroids?
Way back in 2008, a reader wrote into the New York Times and said, "We are living in a golden age of Schadenfreude." And if you look around today, it's kind of hard to argue with that, right? The internet, social media, reality TV, they've created the perfect petri dish for this feeling to just explode.
I mean, just think about it. It is everywhere. It's the fail compilations on YouTube. It's the celebrity meltdowns on Twitter. It's the public shaming mobs that form in an instant. It's every political scandal that has us grabbing the popcorn.
You could argue our entire digital world is practically powered by it.
And this creates this really bizarre tension in our culture. On the one hand, the internet serves up a non-stop, all-you-can-eat buffet of other people's failures for us to feast on. But on the other hand, we're constantly being told to be kind, to be compassionate, to have more empathy. So we're stuck in the middle, torn between the algorithm that feeds our worst instincts and the culture that tells us to be better.
So what are we supposed to do with this feeling? Is it really the worst part of us? Is it a sign that we're all secretly terrible? Or is it something a little more complicated? Something that might actually reveal a hidden truth about what it means to be human?
The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, he definitely thought it was the worst. He did not pull any punches. He called it an infallible sign of a thoroughly bad heart. I mean, he basically argued that if you feel this, you are morally worthless. So yeah, a pretty tough crowd. But then, on the complete opposite end, you've got Friedrich Nietzsche, and he saw it totally differently. He didn't see it as some evil flaw. He called it a mighty, human, all-too-human principle. For Nietzsche, it wasn't something to be ashamed of. It was just part of the deal of being human, something to be understood. And that really is the whole point. If we can just get past the shame for a second, Schadenfreude actually tells us a lot about ourselves. It points directly to our deep, deep instinct for fairness. It exposes the raw nerve of our own envy. And weirdly enough, it's even a way we bond with each other, laughing with our friends at some common enemy or a totally ridiculous public failure.
So if Schadenfreude is one side of the coin, you gotta wonder, what's on the other side? Well, while German gave us the perfect word for joy in someone's pain, the ancient languages of Pali and Sanskrit gave us a word for its beautiful opposite, mudita. It means finding pure, unselfish joy in the success and happiness of others. It's that feeling a parent gets when their kid succeeds. It's the exact inverse of Schadenfreude.
Which leaves us with a final question. Does admitting that we feel this secret little thrill make us bad people, like Schopenhauer thought? Or does owning up to this all-too-human part of our nature just make us more honest, more self-aware, and maybe, just maybe, a little more capable of choosing empathy, of choosing mudita next time? That's something to think about.